Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to be covering a case study on how Coach Chris, an ex-military guy, a veteran without that much social experience, went from $0 month over month with his coaching program to $10,000 cash collected upfront in 3 days, right? So you guys, it's Malcolm here from Growthify.biz, and in this doc, you'll discover how I and my partner Yusuf took a brand new coaching offer from $0 to $10,000 cash collected in 3 days using a viral dynamic Instagram funnel and a high performance growth team model, right? Now, we kind of know that this is a bold claim, so here's some proof, right? As you can see, these are like kind of 3 days apart. This was $2,500 right here. Wait, no, this was $25 right here. This was another $25, and this was $5,000. They got to that 10K cash collected in those 3 days, right? So now my goals with this doc isn't just to show you how we did this, because knowledge can only go so far, right? So my goal is to actually create some belief within you, because without belief, you'll fail to actually take action on what I'm going to show you today, right? So it's probably best to start by telling you that this wasn't magic or some secret sauce, right? We did this by simply following core marketing and sales principles, right? The same principles that have been used by the average day man for centuries, right? There isn't some magic sauce, right? I don't care what any of these gurus tell you. It's just based on principles, right? And it's kind of a shame because they know this, right? So before you get to thinking it's impossible for you, I'm here to tell you that it isn't. And I know this because I've done this, right? So with that being said, if you are someone who has a specialized skill set, you want to monetize on it so you can hit consistent $10,000 months, this is for you, right? If you're someone that wants to grab market share of the $200 billion online coaching industry, which grows at a rate of 100% per decade, this is for you. If you're someone who is tired of using all these special tactics from these gurus that simply don't work, this is for you. Or if you're someone that wants to make an impact and give value to the world and create a legacy by selling a valuable online coaching solution, then this is for you. Now, if this isn't for you, I still want you to stay around, right? Because this document might just shock your world and give you the epiphany moment that you did not expect, right? So today, you're going to discover how to leverage Instagram to print insane amounts of cash without spending a dime on paid advertising by simply posting content around what you're passionate about and driving that attention to a sales process, right? We like to call this the viral dynamic content and high performance growth model, right? So before we dive in, my name's Malcolm, and the reason I'm writing this document is because I have delusional confidence in the market of online coaching, and I believe everybody has a God-given skill set that they can use to monetize to take market share of the $200 billion online coaching on the online education industry and become the modern day institution, right? So the reason I have this delusion is because I can accredit the bulk of my skill sets from online education. Not to mention, I just simply believe that it's the best one-person business model, and here's why. Like a lot of you guys, I tried every business model under the sun. I tried dropshipping, I tried SMMA, and I tried all different types of side hustles, right? I didn't see much of any success until I found this one person's business model, and I just stuck with it, right? And that business model is called growth consulting, right? This business model is by far one of the toughest biz operations to run online, by far, right? You have to have various skill sets, including copywriting, sales, marketing, back-end fulfillment, team management, etc., right? And when I first started off, it was super tough, right? I struggled for months to see any type of business success, which now looking back, it was all well worth it because I spent so much time developing my skill sets and diving deep into my craft, right? And before I knew it, I landed my first client and made a good chunk of change, right? Now, there was something I noticed with this, however, because I was kind of doing so much for these coaches and consultants, and I still am to this day, right? And I don't remember the exact date, but I do know what exactly happened, right? So it was one day, one of my coaches made $5,000 in a single day, and it hit me, right? There's actually not an online business model that can even compete with how insane and cool online coaching is, right? I mean, you're simply just monetizing your skill set. And what's even cooler about it is you can actually scale this business past $200,000 months with a team less than 5 people, right? You might think that's crazy, but I know somebody who's actually doing this, right? So I wonder now, I kind of wonder, and I don't wonder anymore, why all the gurus keep guruing, right? It kind of just makes sense. Why would you not, right? So here I am today. I like to think myself as the board of advisors, almost like a college, except I'm kind of helping online coaches instead of traditional institutions, right? So for the remainder of this document, you can expect to discover two key things, right? You'll discover exactly how we scale Chris from $0 to $10,000 in 3 days. And you'll also discover how you can start your own coaching program from scratch, right? So let's just dive right into the first thing we did, right? So we ran some free consultings, right? Here's the thing. Most people will guess and assume what type of offer or content their audience would like to see. And that's why most coaching programs become commodities, right? We did things a bit different, right? Instead of just funnel hacking somebody, we posted a call to action to Chris's audience to hop on some free consulting calls with Chris, right? The whole point of this was to find out what Chris's audience actually wanted from him, right? When done right, these free consulting calls will build an infinite feedback loop that'll help you develop a content strategy, your sub niche, your offer, and your fulfillment method, right? And that's kind of exactly what we did. We asked Chris's audience the following questions on these calls, right? We asked them, what's their background? What's their hobbies? What they're currently struggling with the most? What's their pain point? How's that impacting them in life? How's that impacting the way they feel? How long that's been going on? Have they looked for any results to help them with that? Let's say you were able to get rid of this. How would they envision their life? How does they envision their social life, their career, and their habits? Why does that goal matter for them? How would that goal make them feel? What would be the desired time frame from hitting that goal? And if we were to be their coach and help them out, what would they want from us? And what type of support would they require from us, right? So if you're familiar with sales, you'll notice that these questions allow us to create a current state and a desired state of our avatar before we even launch the product, right? From this data, we had zero problem finding the product market fit, right? So for some context, Chris sells an offer to help veterans regain their purpose and achieve their professional goals, right? And a few days after creating his content from those free consulting calls, we gained almost 1 million plus views on our reels within a week from doing this, right? And at this point, we kind of figured out our product market fit was kind of dialed in and validated, and we could start facilitating some of that demand to our appointment setters to book some appointments, right? Not to mention that these free consults helped us craft our sales letters as well, right? Being that Chris is an Instagram coach, we turned those sales letters into reels and created a straight line offer to his audience, right? So I'm going to show you guys the reel that made us $10,000, right? All you need is one viral video, right? With the right selling mechanism, you can print money in absolutely no time, right? We created something called a viral dynamic ad, right? Now, this isn't your typical ad. It was just an organic post on Chris's feed. However, when done right, this organic viral piece of content can lower your acquisition costs almost by 100x, right? So this is how this works step by step, right? So you want to find out what type of content resonates with your audience, right? You want to identify their current state and their dream state. You want to create a piece of content that identifies the current state and dream state of them. And in this video, you'll widen the gap of why they aren't there with a bold claim or thesis, right? And in this video, you'll have a very strong and emotional hook, and you'll need to give some sort of free value and a component that asserts yourself as an authority in this topic, right? Essentially, you need to do two things. You need to mix the components of a viral organic piece of content and a really good ad or sales letter, right? And so here's the video of, what we actually used for Chris, right? So let's see if we can actually click on this.
After leaving the Army last year and stepping away from Special Forces, I realized how difficult it can be to rediscover that purpose and that mission for life. So I developed a program that kind of brings some of those issues to the surface and addresses them appropriately. The program is geared primarily towards prior service members who are looking to kind of re-engage and get on track to achieve their professional goals after the military. We'll be focusing on who you want to become in several different areas. After we've kind of established your identity in each of those areas, we'll begin the backwards planning process to break your long-term goals down into daily tasks that are much more manageable. Right now, I'm only taking 20 people. If you're tired of feeling stuck or lost or unmotivated, make this the next mission in your life. Comment mission if you're interested.
So you'll notice that this kind of combines the effect of a viral dynamic ad and just a really good, a viral organic piece of content and just a really good ad, right? It's basically an organic piece of content disguised as an ad, right? So that's pretty much how that works, right? And if you have these skill sets, this can be pretty easy for you, right? And I do want to mention, by the way, Chris kind of gained a lot of followers in 1 month, right? Like 50,000 followers, which is pretty sick, right? Now, a lot of people will get that type of attention and have zero monetization mechanism, right? So what helped Chris kind of capitalize on this opportunity was the fact that he had a highly optimized backend system ready to clean up some of his attention, right? So this is what we call the high performance growth system, right? So the biggest mistake you can make as an online coach, creator, or even agency owner is the lack of proper systems, right? So if you do this, you're essentially kind of shooting yourself in the foot, right? we've conducted research on multiple info product companies, and there are two things that kind of separate them, right? One, the attractive character of the brand, and two, the system, right? So for the sake of this section, we're just going to talk about the system aspect, right? So I want you guys to ask yourself, what's the point of acquiring attention if you don't have the mechanism to monetize it, right? Why expose yourself to the world and put your privacy at risk without getting paid for it, right? So if you're still reading this document, I'm assuming and I know that you have high IQ, right? And you can see that acquiring attention without a monetization mechanism doesn't make sense, right? So let's look at what Chris' backend system looked like so you can model your same system the exact way, right? So at the time of this writing, we're at around 70 calls in only like 2 weeks with only 3 no-shows, right? So trust me when I say that this system works, right? So I can just expand this right here so we can kind of dive into it. So let me just go back here. It's kind of tripping out. Second. So I can just dive into it right here, right? Pull it back up. Just type this in. Lucid our funnel, right? So I'm about to just show you guys what this actually looks like, right? So with Chris, we drive traffic to the DM, right, with great pre-framing, right? Meaning we kind of already know the traffic temperature that we're dealing with, so we pre-frame them accordingly, right? From there, we we get them in an inbox and we set them on an appointment, right? So from there, we get people on a calendar, and if they're unqualified, they go to a Facebook group. If they're qualified, they go to a call confirmation lander, right? From there, they get an IG DM with a marketing asset like a free resource, and then they get 2 human interaction tests from an appointment setter, kind of confirming their appointment before their actual appointment, right? So before they go on a closing call, they actually will go on a triage call, and on the triage call, we will have them write down 3 to 5 of their goals on the triage call, say them out loud, and share with them, share it with the 5 of their friends, right? This is so we can get a public commitment out of them, right? From there, they'll go to the sales call, and a lot of times, that's how you can assure that you close deals, right? So in the instance that somebody no-shows for the appointment or somebody doesn't close the appointment, a high-performance growth system kind of looks like this, right? So you have a 72-hour follow-up system, right? And after 72 hours, that person is added to a 90-day follow-up sequence where they will be nurtured every single day, where they feel so much debt that they want to hop back on that call. And in the same instance, somebody doesn't close an appointment, we will DM them or message them and have contact with them for 12 weeks, every single week, just building rapport with them and trying to get them back on the call, right? This all happens and revolves around Slack communications. We have sales management, and we have SOPs for each aspect of this high-performance growth team. That's how it kind of works really well, right? So from this chart, you'll kind of notice how deep the system goes and how much substance it holds, right? In every possible scenario, all leads are being tracked and clearly seen in the pipeline, right? All of these leads are opportunities, and opportunities equal money, right? So most coaching systems or most coaching programs lack a system that holds a lot of depth, right? And truthfully, it comes down to them not believing in their service enough, right? Chris believed in his service, so he feels that it was his duty to create a 90-day follow-up sequence with all of his leads, right? Because he'd rather help them than have somebody else do it, right? So I can guarantee you with this system, we'll close a lot of warm leads from the number of contact points report and the effort we're putting into these leads, right? And if for any reason the chart is a little bit unclear, this is how it works step by step, right? Like I said, we drive that traffic to a DM, right, with a viral dynamic piece of content. We set interested leads on the calendar for a triage call. All those leads that book an appointment will see a call confirmation landing page where we kind of knock out some of their common objections before the call, right? If anybody is set on the calendar and labeled with the contact tag of call proposed, after 12 hours of them not booking a call, we follow up with them. Before the triage call, we send them free marketing assets kind of tailored towards their pain points and send them 2 call confirmations manually with our hyper-personalized messages, right? We also identify their current state and their desired state on the triage call and pitch them on our closing call. If they're unqualified, we funnel them into a Facebook group and tag them as unqualified, right? They also get added to a 90-day follow-up sequence regardless, right? If they're qualified, we write down 3 to 5 of their goals, have them make a commitment so they can actually show up for the sales call. On the closing call, in the case a lead no-shows or doesn't close, they're added to a 3-month follow-up sequence, and our setters clear the inbox daily and cover 200 outbound DMs per day, right? Now, this is what a high-performance growth system looks like, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people's funnel don't look like that, right? So this is kind of the difference from that funnel and an average funnel, right? So the average funnel kind of looks something like this. So Actually, let me click this one. So go right here. And the average funnel looks something like this. It doesn't hold that much substance, as you'll see. Traffic to a landing page or a call to action to book a call. They go to the calendar page. In the instance on the calendar page, if they're not qualified, they're usually lost, forgotten, and they're out of the pipeline. If they're qualified, hopefully they go to a confirmation landing page. They get some automated text from Calendly. No really appointment setters, building rapport, sending marketing assets, or any personalized approach. That kind of leads to a terrible closing rate because there's not a lot of rapport built and trust built. And then in the case they no-show or doesn't close, they don't have much of any type of follow-up sequences, right? And this is what an average coaching program looks like that is bottlenecked and capped at revenue, right? So as you can see, the average backend system looks quite different, right? And in this chart, it's a bit unclear. It's a bit clear why you could tell this system is different and not efficient to capitalize on the $200 billion coaching industry, right? This system holds no substance. The pipeline is clumsy. Leads are being followed up with, and there is almost zero effort from a human, and leads can feel this, right? So if you want to make money with your online coaching program and avoid doing all the, if you want to make money, I want you to avoid doing the following at all costs, right? You want to avoid driving traffic to a landing page because DMs simply work better, right? You want to, avoid leaving unqualified leads lost and abandoned because you can always get them leads back on the call. You want to avoid leaving all confirmation up to automations and workflow. It's better to hyper personalize that with an appointment setter. You want to avoid having zero sequence for leads that don't close or don't no-show. And you want to avoid having zero SOPs or team management, right? Again, you're high IQ, so you can see the systems of how these two systems kind of differ, right? So the great news is, if you build one of these one time, you can keep baking on this over and over again, and that's just because it works, right? However, there's one catch to the system, right? Under any circumstance this will not work. Under any circumstance, this does not work if you lack a high-performance growth team, right? So next, we're going to cover how Chris built a high-performance growth team, which made everything else glue together, right? Now, I want to say, I don't know if I coined this word. To be honest, I doubt it, really doubt it. But my definition of a high-performance growth team is a team of highly skilled, specialized specialists, right, that push your business forward, right? So if you're a brand new coach, this kind of still applies to you, right? You won't actually go hire a team, but the same principles will still apply, right? Essentially, if you aren't at the scale, you'll need to be your high-performance growth team, right? So regardless of where you're at with your business, this will help you exponentially grow your coaching offer, right? After utilizing this high-performance growth team, I'll never try to sell an offer without one, right? So here are the 5 components of a high-performance growth team, the 3 skill sets, and the 1 daily workflow that we use for Chris, right? So you must have an appointment setter and a triage getter. They're going to need to be skilled at sales, right? You're going to need a sales closer. They're going to need to be skilled at sales. You're going to need a sales manager. They're going to need to be skilled at operations and sales. You're going to need a copywriter / creative director. They're going to need to be skilled at copywriting and marketing. And you're going to need an operational manager. And if you aren't at scale yet, you're going to be the operational manager. And they need to be good at everything, right? So this is what our daily workflow kind of looks like, right? We have bi-daily 30-minute team meetings with our copywriter, creative director, who also attends this meeting to hear some of the pain points from the sales call. Daily communication between the copywriter and the creative director to approve and distribute content. The operational manager checks in on the sales team to make sure they're hitting KPIs and their earnings are on track. Then the operational manager also finds bottlenecks in the business and builds a different solution for those bottlenecks. The appointment setter has to hit daily KPIs and complete end-of-the-day tasks. The sales closers have to hit KPIs and hit end-of-the-day tasks. And each role also receives kind of a 14-day onboarding period to see if they're the right fit, right? Now, if you're not at this type of scale yet, good news, because you'll be the operational manager until you are, right? So with this position, you'll be able to learn all the ins and outs of your business and how it should be run. You'll document SOPs and onboard skilled team members when the time is right? So there are essentially 4 ways to building a high-performance growth team, right? 1 is leveraging your network. 2 is referrals. 3 is outbound to skilled specialists. And 4 is inbound from your current content, right? So in our case, for Chris's offer, we leveraged our network to find some skilled specialists, right? If you don't have a network yet to build a high team of leverage, your skill set. If you don't have a network yet to build a team to leverage your skill sets to provide free value to those that have the connections, sorry about that. If you don't have, a network yet, you'll need to, leverage your skill sets to provide free value to those connections to people that have a high performance growth team, right? Now, as the operational manager, it will be your job, to do all of this until you can delegate these tasks to vet each of these specialists to ensure you are onboarding the right people. So if you don't know what to look for this when you're hiring, right? Specialized knowledge, experience, and people that can buy into your vision. Only hire people that have 2 of these 3 qualities. Only that and nothing else, right? Trust me, hiring the wrong people can only be a detriment to your company, right? Now, the most important thing in building your high-performance growth team will be the team culture, right? And as the leader, you should be setting the standard for your team culture, right? The high-performance system won't work, unfortunately, without this, right? So for Chris's offer, this is how we build team culture, right? Adding KPIs and bonuses, adding KPI bonuses and incentives, creating different assignments based on our SOPs, calling out anything that doesn't fit the culture, visually showing the team work ethic to inspire belief inside of them, keeping a pipeline of another specialist to keep them focused, acquiring courses and pieces of training for them, and communication, team meetings, laughs, and regular guy talk, right? So when put together, this creates a formula to print insane amounts of cash in a short amount of time for your offer, right? Just like we did for Chris. So here's what's next, right? We will collect $50,000 for Chris and leverage paid attention after that over the next few weeks, right? We will keep the team lean until we hit 100K MRR for Chris's offer, and we will create an omni-channel for Chris to scale further than he ever imagined, right? So what does this exactly mean for you, right? This means that you now have the blueprint to do the same for yourself by leveraging viral dynamic content in a high-performance growth team, right? So let's just recap, right? It is unreasonable for you not to crack $10,000 per month by monetizing your God-given skill sets and capitalizing on the $200 billion online education industry, right? And you do this by leveraging organic viral dynamic content and a high-performance growth team. You start by finding the right product market fit so you can push an offer your market actually wants and needs to make it easier than ever to push the product, right? Now, with this framework, success is almost guaranteed, right? We know this because we also use this framework to scale an offer from $0 to $40,000 in 30 days with only a 2,000 size audience for an e-com offer, right? So with this doc, I have zero doubt that you can take these principles and directly apply them to your business to get similar results and steal some market share. However, I will say this system is very complex, requires time, various skill sets, and management that a coach should not be focused on, right? So as mentioned above, your main focus as a coach should be doing what you do best, right? Which is monetizing your passion and not managing complex systems, right? So to expedite the process of capitalizing on this revolution, it would be a great idea to engage with a super well-oiled, high-performance growth team who can cover the complex systems and distribute the content that will convert leads into buyers, right? So here's my offer to you, and this is what I can support you with. A well-trained high-performance growth team that is guaranteed to run your operation and close deals, consulting from experienced growth consultants to find proper product market fit and help you optimize the complexity of a coaching business, content distribution optimized for getting warm, qualified leads into your DMs so you can put more cash into your pocket each week from your audience, fulfillment made easy with systems so you can focus on what you do best and spend more time doing what you love, back-end system management and data at scale that'll help you grow your brand by leveraging what works and will help you lower your acquisition costs by tenfold with our viral dynamic content system so you can keep more of the money that we will generate for you. So if you're a coach, consultant, superstar marketer, or content creator, and if you have a targeted audience of at least 4,000 engaged followers in the self-development and wealth niches, and you want to monetize your passion with a high-ticket coaching model to add an additional minimum $10,000 to $50,000 MRR, we can give you our exact copy and paste system to take immediate action for your own coaching business, right? So if that sounds like something that interests you, shoot us a call, right? Shoot us a message, or you can book a call below so we can scale together, right? And guys, that's pretty much it with this video, right? This is everything you need to go ahead and start scaling your own offer and capitalize on this revolution as becoming the modern day institution, right? I want you guys to take this information and implement it directly into your business because we are sure that this framework actually works. So that's pretty much it with this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the links below and we'll be there to help you scale, right? Peace.